Good afternoon, Samira ma'am. We are students of KJ Zuma Institute of Management. So as we are starting our corporate journey, we are very nervous about how things will go about. How do we have to prepare about it? So we are very grateful that today you are going to answer few of our queries regarding campus to corporate. So yeah, we can start.
Thank
Hello,
you.
ma'am.
Hi.
I'm Vishnu Priya. I'm also a student of MBA at KJ Samaya Institute of Management. And I'll be starting with the common questions that most of us have as students when we are going for interviews and everything. Something that we easily get a pass on with college guidance is that our resumes get passed with employers. But something that we struggle with is the first introduction that we have with our interview. So we really don't know what are the most relevant things we should say in an interview when we start off with the first interaction with our corporate, exposure. So what do you suggest?
Okay. So thank you, Sakshi. Thank you, Vishnu Priya, for this opportunity to interact and answer your questions. I think a lot of times, as you walk from your main door and you go and sit with the interviewer, a lot of decision is already taken. Okay, based on how you dress, how you appear, how you walk, what is your posture, what is your confidence level, how do you greet them, how do you meet them. Now, a lot of decision is already taken because the CV has got you into the interview room. But what you do there talks about who you are. I want to do a quick role play here that I'm the interviewer and you walk in and you introduce yourself and then we start and I will decode that for you. Does that work?
Yes, we can do that. Sure.
Okay, super. So assuming that you walked in and you're sitting right in front of me and how would you introduce yourself?
So, hello, good evening, Samira ma'am. I'm Vishnu Priya Ajay and I'm sitting for the role of a digital marketing trainer. I come with an experience of 1 year. I have worked with an organization called Aura Image Management and Consulting as a digital marketing trainee. Here at KJ Samaya Institute of Management, I'm specializing in marketing as an area of specialization, and I look forward to working in the field of digital marketing ahead. Some of my strengths are that I am a very creative person, so I am good with creating digital art. I have already worked with the college committee in setting up their digital presence as a college who is trying to attract students to join the institution. So I'm part of the content curation and the digital marketing team. Other than that, I have been part of live projects in college. That has also given me exposure to the field of digital marketing. Here, I am expecting to connect with you and also to share my knowledge and gain more knowledge from the organization.
All right, so you did very well, Vishnu Priya. I must say that you covered everything. You introduced yourself nicely. You had a very good presence. You had a smile on your face throughout. You were confident. You were not nervous. You were not jittery. Though at some places I felt you used the fillers, but very, very few places. Okay? But mostly you did very well. As an interviewer, what I would have wanted to hear more is that when you have 1 year of experience with an organization, what exactly did you do there? So your introduction was fine, your overall presence was fine, your confidence, your smile, your I would say the ठहराव जिसको बोलते हैं, composure, the calmness was very good. But what I missed hearing is that if you had 1 year of experience, what exactly did you do there? You talked about your creative, bend of mind and your knowledge. But I would have really wanted to hear, in that 1 year, what did you do? What did you learn? Because if I'm going to hire you, I want to know what you bring to the table. As a fresher, there are a lot of things that you would learn, you would start doing. But as an experienced person, what is it that I'm getting as an interviewer? So if you had said that, I learned, what I did at Aura is I managed the entire social media. I was managing the entire, daily posts, different platforms like LinkedIn, like Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. I was able to create posts, or I was able to manage their ads, and I created ad scripts, and we learned the organic outreach. I was able to increase the organic outreach, etc. So as an interviewer, what do I want to hear? So you'll have to think about who's interviewing you, what would they want to hear as to, with respect to your experience and what you're bringing to the table. Are you with me? Is it making sense?
Yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
work.
Mostly the trick is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the trick is that you usually get only 30 seconds or 20 seconds to introduce yourself in the beginning. And then there is lots of information that we want to share, and we don't know what exactly would be the best to share in those 20 seconds in the beginning.
Exactly. So what you would say is that you have 1 year of experience working with this organization, and in that 1 year, you did every aspect of social media. You worked on organic outreach, you worked on paid ads, you worked on the posts, you worked with several platforms, and in the process, you were able to build on your creativity, innovation, and you learned a lot of blah, 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 blah. So now you're using that 1 year experience to bring in what you can add as an individual. Is it making sense? So yes, you're not just saying, oh, I have 1 year of experience, plus I can do this. Do you understand? I'm saying use that 1 year of experience to say what you learned from on this job, at the same time, what you were able to bring in as your expertise into this job. So it was a win-win situation. The organization was very happy with the kind of work I did. At the same time, I learned a lot. I was able to learn the very intricate nuances of how one can position a personal brand on a certain platform, etc. So now what you're doing is you're combining everything into that 1 30-40 second window, right? So have you got your answer?
Thank you.
Next question.
Yeah, ma'am. So, next question. As a fresh graduate, what are the top skills and qualities that the employers really want to see in us?
Okay, good question. So, one is your CV, whatever you've done, okay, what you excel in, etc., etc. But as a fresher, why would I hire you? I would hire you on 4 or 5 parameters. Okay, I want to see how you look. It's extremely important because now you're going to represent my brand. Whoever that person is, you're going to be an extension of that brand. So how do you look? How do you present yourself? How do you dress? How do you groom? That is extremely important. And also relevant, by the way. Now you might think that, oh, I'm going to be working in the back end because I'm managing social media. I'm not facing the client. I'm not meeting any outsiders. So what's the need of doing that? The need for doing that is not only for the organization, but you also feel so good and confident about yourself and feel ready in the mind because you've made an effort to put yourself together. So looking good is extremely important. Second is how you communicate, how clear you are, how concise you are, how effective you are, how assertive you are. All of these things are important. So your communication skills will be extremely important because if you're unable to express yourself clearly and the message is not very clear, then you will probably leave other people confused. Communicating effectively, assertively, impactfully is very important. Third is, of course, what you're bringing to the table. So let's put these things aside because these are the initial things, but what is it that you're bringing to the table and how are you going to add value to that organization? So in an interview, how you will relate what you can do to what the interviewer can get. Because I'm interviewing you not for what you can do. I'm interviewing you what you can do for me. What's in it for me? Right? As an organization, as an interviewer, I'm looking at you as how can you add value to my business, my brand, my service? So what's in it for me? Always relate what you know to what you can do for them. Extremely important. A lot of people have a lot of skills and experience and knowledge, but the way they express themselves in the interview, it just takes away of the interviewer away. Because what's in it for me? If you are creative, what would that creativity do for me as an organization? If you are great, if you can manage your time very well, What would that time management do for me? If you are strategic, if you can think strategically, what would that strategy do to me? How will it translate to my business? So you have to sell me in the interview what I want to hear. Now you can be extremely creative and innovative. Well, how do I care? But what will that creativity do for me will interest me, and then my ears are all ears for you. Sakshi, are you able to understand what I'm saying? Is it making sense? So as a fresher, you have to say, well, I'm highly creative and I've always got several awards and rewards for being creative. And now what I can do for you is I can creatively work on your digital marketing. I can come out with great ideas for your campaigns. I can come out with something out of the box for this, for that. Now you have to relate all your creativity to what you can do for me. And that's when I get interest. So attitude, extremely important. So this, we talked about your skills and what you can bring to the table. And then the next element, which is extremely important, is your attitude. Okay, so if I want to test, a lot of times your interviews are pressure tests. And they will tell you have to work longer hours, you have to work on the weekends, you have to work on holidays, and you won't get holidays, and this won't happen, and that won't happen. And you have to say, well, I'm here to learn. I'm here to work. Nobody is really going to actually make you go through all of that. Maybe not.
It's just a kind of test they do.
Yes. They can put you in a very tough spot and say, well, when was the time you failed and what did you learn from there? Okay, so to say that I did not fail would be foolish, because everybody at some point fails. But what was your learning out of that? What did I learn, and how I'm going to apply that learning to my current situation, to my life going forward, to my work going forward? That is what people want to hear. So how resilient were you? How agile were you? What kind of attitude you were bringing to the table? And of course, some questions would be around what your people skills are. How do you work with people? Are you a loner or are you a collaborator? Right? So when these are a couple of things that people would want to hear and understand. As a fresher, who are you? What can you do? Would you be a good fit in my organization? तीन ही सवाल है.
Remind you of any blunders that students often do during their interviews. Remind you.
Yes, I keep going back to the same example. I was doing the campus to corporate program for Amity University. And it was a huge batch and everybody did well. They all got selected except 2 students who did not make it to the interviews as desired, because they refused to make the changes. One refused to make the change to his attitude that, I will go to the interview like this. So he wore short pants and, no socks and ruffled hair. The other girl was, oh, this is me, ma'am, I can't change. I said, all right. And she wore toned jeans and she wore sneakers and she went for the interview. And they were all being hired for, corporates where the interaction was directly with the clients. So no matter who you are, you have to be appropriate. You have to be also attractive. You have to be authentic. You have to be rightly presenting yourself, no matter what. Because there's a famous saying, right? To please thyself, dress to please others. So wherever you are, you have to conform, you have to blend in. Now, if you're not doing that, you stand out negatively, not positively. So yes, those were the blunders. I think there were other blunders as well. The way people come and sit, they become very relaxed. They go back and sit in a very weird way, not realizing that. And most of it happens out of nervousness. It's not overconfidence. It's actually they're nervous and they come and they just, go back on the seat. They will fold their legs, cross their legs. And a lot of times it's because they're nervous and it goes wrong. Sometimes the grooming is not right. The nails are not right. The mouth is smelling. And a lot of times people feel that this is not important. This is extremely, extremely important, especially as a fresher. If you have 10 years of experience behind you and you've proven yourself, this thing can take a back seat sometimes. But if I'm the interviewer, it won't. But having said that, if you're a fresher, oh my God, you have to pay attention to every single small detail.
Yeah. So, ma'am, as we are talking about dressing, what are some of the tips to dress up rightly for a dream job interview?
Dream job interview?
Yeah.
What's your dream job?
I don't know right now.
So dressing is relevant to the industry you are in. If you want to be a journalist who's out on the road trying to cover some event or different, the weather conditions are different, the circumstances are different. Can I ask them ever to wear a suit and go there? It'll be foolish, right? So dressing is very relevant to the industry, to the role, to the goal you have. So what is your dream job? Unless I know what your dream job is, I won't be able to recommend the right kind of clothing for that. So for instance, you go to Google, you are interviewing with Google and you're going as someone who's working in the digital marketing team. As far as I know, Google won't bother what you're wearing, how you're presenting yourself, as long as you bring your brain to the company, right? Your creativity, your thoughts, your intelligence. Because there, what is more important is comfort. And there's more allowance and there's more acceptance of, how people. Having said that, if you want to go to a law firm, or a banking company or a financial institution or a corporate organization, it'll be very difficult for you to pass through the interview in that casual outfit or it. So I guess unless you tell me what your dream job is, I won't be able to help you with what you should wear. So do you know what your dream job is?
Well, we'll figure out it and we'll come back to you regarding this.
Okay, sure. Yes, any more questions?
So, ma'am, we've talked a lot about in-person interviews, and that is a very different area now that we have come into the virtual world. Everything happens online. Yes. So, nowadays people just wear on a coat and they don't bother what else they are wearing, and that's enough for a virtual interaction. Do you think we should, go like that to an interview, thinking that it's only a virtual interaction, or should we actually follow everything we do for a real interview? Because the breadth or how we've kept our legs, whether we are wearing footwear or not, is not shown in this. So how does that make a difference in interviews now?
Excellent question, Vishnupriya. So to answer that, I think the virtual world has given us a lot of allowance to be comfortable, okay? And it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So if you're wearing a jacket on top and you have groomed yourself, your hair is properly done, and the upper portion that is really presented on the virtual platform is fine. Okay. Having said that, how you dress entirely will also impact your mind. And I have to admit that there are times I'm running from one session to another, I do the same. So it's not like I'm fully professionally dressed all the time. So sometimes you do that. Sometimes you sit with your legs crossed on the sofa or on the couch. I think that kind of allowance and acceptance is okay in the virtual world, as long as our body posture is confident and alert, as far as our mind is alert, as far as our presence is alert. This kind of acceptance it's okay. But
and this is a case the other person also is aware of.
I'm not sure if the other person is aware of it or not, but why would you want to highlight it anyway? Right? So, but see, when you put on your shoes and your trousers and everything, you feel differently. The moment you get into your casual clothing, comfort clothing, you feel relaxed. But to feel ready, this is how you have to dress. But theek hai, ghar mein, you're shifting from one place to another. Sometimes you're sitting on the sofa, sometimes on the chair, sometimes on the bed. It's difficult to do that in a trouser, right? and with shoes on. So it's all right.